everyone, and welcome to the Motorcycle Show Toronto here at the CNE in February. My name's Colin Fraser. I work for CSBK, and this is a recently completed Yamaha R3 built for the brand new in 2018 amateur lightweight sport bike category as an example of the kind of preparation requirements for building a motorcycle to compete this season. We're not going to talk about the engine. Some motorcycles will have some engine modifications for this class, but we're going to talk about the physical stuff you can see here. So the first thing that's obvious is some of the bodywork has changed. The tank remains stock. Tail section, front fender, fairing are aftermarket, so they're thinner, lighter, easier to remove and whatnot. But most importantly, if you look to the bottom, there's quite a shape you can see here on the fairing, and that means it can retain fluid. So if you have some kind of a leak with your engine, water from the radiator or engine oil or something like that, it will keep that from spilling on the track and affecting your traction and the traction of others. So that's an important safety thing, and that is required for every bike in the series. If we go around to the front of the motorcycle, obviously it has number plates. Everybody has to race with a number so we can identify you. Now when we look at the front of the motorcycle, we have the Dunlop spec race tire that's required in the class. There's also a rain tire available. These ones have actually been used in testing at Shannonville in the fall. Stock brake rotor, stock caliper, block wire on all the important pieces like the caliper, aftermarket steel brake line for safety, and then probably the most important thing at the front of the motorcycle, these forks have been reworked by accelerated technology with Öhlins internals, which gives you full adjustability, and you can access them without taking the forks apart by going to the top of the fork leg above the crown here, and there's adjusters on both sides that allow you to access these in the pit lane and be able to go back for the rest of your practice session. Moving up, we have the stock master cylinder with the aftermarket braided line. Then this is a two-piece clip-on, so this bracket and this bar are two pieces, and you can remove this piece if it's damaged, and this is very important for racing. Yes, it's adjustable, yes, it's lighter, but more importantly, you can get at it without taking other things apart, remove that, replace it with another bar. We have adjustable Yamaha levers, which are pretty much impervious to damage, aftermarket softer grips, and importantly, a clutch and a brake guard, so if you encounter the back of someone who's just in front of you, inadvertently, it doesn't jam on your front brake or jam on the clutch or break the levers, all of which can happen. Further along, we have the foot controls here, and these are from Bickle Racing, same as the bars were. And the advantage here is twofold, and that is adjustability to get your foot in the right position to be able to use the brakes and the clutch comfortably, but also durability in terms of a crash because these are sturdier and you can replace parts of them. Same way we were talking about there with the levers. Now this bike comes with a complete racing exhaust system from Hindle, complete with an aftermarket lightweight hanger. So there's a number of reasons to run the aftermarket exhaust. Less weight, more performance, and combined with the DynoJet Power Commander, which is a computer module that plugs into your stock ignition, allows you the tuning with the motorcycle to get the most out of it and also improve the rideability. The performance of the motorcycle is mandated by the series in terms of horsepower numbers and enforced on a DynoJet rear wheel dyno that goes to every round of the championship. So those are important criteria: minimum weight of the motorcycle with fuel after the race, DynoJet performance as measured on the DynoJet rolling rear wheel dyno. We move around to the back of the motorcycle. Of course, a lot of the components must remain stock. So the rear wheel, the rear swing arm cannot be altered. Stock wheel, stock swing arm, Bickle Racing setup for the controls for the feet, but most importantly at the back here is the aftermarket racing shock from K-Tech in the UK, provided by Accelerated Tech Racing, set up by Accelerated Tech. And the important thing here is obviously much beefier shock that can take the heat, a very harsh environment right behind the engine. Fully adjustable remote reservoir, which allows you to make complete adjustments to the rear suspension to set up the motorcycle, and very important in terms of getting the most in terms of the configuration, the weight distribution, and the comfort, and making sure you get the most out of our Dunlop racing tires. So that's a reasonably quick overview of the physical things you can see here with our Yamaha R3 race bike built for amateur lightweight sport bike. The only thing we haven't touched on are maybe some small modifications to the engine to pick up a couple of horsepower if you want to be competitive at the very front of the class in 2018 at Mopar CSBK events across Canada.